There's literally grown women online complaining about being a single woman.
Rent that you can't even afford to go.
I'm 44, single, never been married, and so therefore life is harder.
My name is Darcy. I'm a 38-year-old.
Being single is ruining the economy.
Cities effectively mandate single-family homes, which are designed for nuclear families.
My electric bill last month was $177, and I truly do not know how.
For many women, living alone once felt like a big achievement. But today, rising rent, higher bill, inflation are making everything impossible to be independent in this time. Because think about it, if you share a house with somebody or room, you guys more likely to split the bills. But if you choose to be independent, you're more likely everything gonna land on your lap. And that's what a lot of people are choosing today. That's why the homeless we are facing, that's one of the symptoms too. Because people are not choosing to be together, stick together. And that's what society is supposed to be. That's how human we started, stick together. Yeah, if you've been living alone, you feel like you're right, drop a comment, let me know what's your strategy, what's your phantom. Let's watch this video.
There's literally grown women online complaining about being a single woman and having to pay their own bills, as if we have a fucking choice. We kind of don't and we kind of do. Because when you think about it, if you really want somebody to be in your house so bad, because I really don't think, you really want a provider in your house. You just want a man in your bed. You just don't want to be alone. I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that you're struggling to pay bills or you're struggling to go on these these girl trips every summer. Going online and complaining about not being able to pay your bills is baiting no good men to come in your house and fuck your shit up. But good luck, I guess.
I live completely alone in a one-bedroom apartment, definitely less than 1,000 square feet. My electric bill last month was $177, and I truly do not know how. When I opened up the bill, I thought I was seeing things. This is like the same cost that my electric bill is typically during the summer when I'm blasting both of my air conditioners. When I think of why it could possibly have been that high, the only thing I could think of is the air conditioners. Normally, I only try to have one on and not the other. Maybe I left both on at the same time. Also, I have two lights and two light switches in my bathroom. One of them is very dim, so it's very easy to miss. And a couple of times my boyfriend left it on overnight by accident. But like, does a light staying on all night actually raise it up? I feel like it's gonna be more of the air conditioners. This is me making a statement for myself that in a month, my electric bill needs to be less. I have not been using my air conditioners. I've been sleeping with my windows open. $177 a month was so far out of my budget for what I was expecting a September electric bill to be. I'm also just so confused because the electric bill in my apartment is the equivalent of what it used to be when I had my house with my ex-husband in like a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom home. So I don't understand how it is so much higher now that I live alone. I don't know if the cost of electricity is different. Maybe it isn't the same. I feel like it was. I don't really know. This is the reality, and the crappy part of living alone is like all of the bills fall on you. And I know I'm a grown adult and like I have a career, but like it's so much. It's so much. And I don't want a roommate and I don't want to live with my boyfriend yet. So like it is what it is, but it's just so much. And I don't want to spend $177 on electric just for lights and air.
You're spending so much money on rent that you can't even afford to go out, because then that's another $100, $50 or whatever. So it's like sometimes when you move to these cities, when you have these luxury apartments, you do become lonely. And I think that that's something that kind of happened in our generation.
Anybody else fight themselves every day not to spend money? Hi, my name's Stacy. I'm 44, single, never been married, and so therefore life is harder. It's harder to live alone. It is harder to only support yourself. It is harder to not rely on anybody else to take care of yourself. But I find myself, whenever you leave the house, you're going to spend money. That drives me crazy. So every day, I feel like meal by meal, I find myself arguing with myself. Nope, you look what's in your freezer. Nope, make your own iced coffee. Like, I love getting things out. And I've worked really hard to get myself in a good financial position, but I'm currently talking myself out of walking to Starbucks because I just want a green tea lemonade. I could just go downstairs, but I want a Starbucks green tea lemonade. And I'm aggravating myself. I did tuck myself out of lunch. I was going to go get a turkey hoagie, but I made myself make my own lunch. Next, I'll be talking myself out of dinner, but I think I have that one covered because there's leftovers I am actually interested in eating. But am I alone? Am I nuts? Tell me I'm nuts. Or better yet, tell me I'm not nuts.
Being single is ruining the economy. Why? Because years ago, 70 or 80% of all adults were married. Now it's around 25 to 35%, or I think, or something like that. So now we have inflated prices on the housing and inflated prices on cars, because if you have a family, you usually don't need but one car. And usually, if you're married, you only need but one house. But if you're single, you're buying a house. Man is buying a house, woman is buying a house. So it inflated the housing prices, and that has trickled down into everything else with food, groceries, consumables, everything, because communities are not combining anymore. So people need to start getting married again. Let's get married, find you somebody you love, take your time, get to know each other, and go to the altar. Let's save the economy, y'all. Get married. Come on.
Being single is incredibly expensive, and I'm not talking about just not splitting rent. The entire infrastructure of America is very much set up for couples. It is baked into the foundation of our country and how we have organized things like housing, healthcare, employment, and the social safety net. Start with something like housing. Zoning laws in most American cities effectively mandate single-family homes, which are designed for nuclear families. And places where single people might stay, like studios and one bedrooms, tend to be less available. And if they are available, they tend to be significantly more expensive per square foot than other units. Or take something like healthcare. Employer-sponsored health programs assume a spouse might need coverage. That is very much baked into how things are priced and subsidized. But single people cannot call their friend and, get on their health insurance plan, right? Like that benefit structure only recognizes one kind of interdependence. And the same with tax policy. It very much compounds all of this. Joint filers get way more tax benefits than single filers. Estate transfers between spouses are tax-free. If I left something to my friend, who's been my person for decades, that doesn't matter. They have to pay taxes on it. And what's so interesting is when we talk about the singles tax, we often are thinking about it simply in terms of like splitting groceries or splitting rent. We're not talking about it as a policy category in the same way that we're talking about families. But so many American adults are unmarried. So many of us are struggling or paying more of the singles tax and not thinking about the broader architecture and how it affects us and how we could potentially change it.
I'm going to write these down real quick so that you can see what mine totals out to be. So I'm going to show you just how simple it can look if you want to do this right now at home. But these are my current numbers. And if you don't have yours written down, these are some great categories to start with and just go from there. And if you think of other things that you know that you have to pay each month, be sure to include those. But it can be as simple as a piece of paper and a pen, or as complex as you want it to be with any kind of spreadsheet or system that you find.
Hi, my name is Darcy. I'm a 8-year-old single mother. I'm staying on my sister's couch. My belongings live in here. I worked my ass off to get where I am today. And I'm not gonna let any of you internet trolls break me down. It's really hard right now. Life is expensive. Inflation is insane. Just to keep my vehicle and everything else, just to be able to stay sane, I had to give up my apartment. I still have bills to pay. I'm still paying off debt. I couldn't save for Christmas all year. Are you insane? You walk in my shoes for a day and tell me that you would be in a better situation. You would have done better with what I was handed. I wish everybody a blessed day. And I don't wish anything that I'm going through on anybody.
Want to know something that just really gets on my nerves? And is this a rant? Probably, yes, kind of. However, it's a rant of a mother that is over 50, a single parent, has children that are adults, but not really adults. And everything that they do revolves around my income. So student loans, anything revolves around my income on the FOSFA or whatever the hell you call that thing. And that is not cool, because when do I get a break on anything? I don't get a tax break on anything because I'm a single person and I don't have little kids. I don't get any of those grants or any of that stuff that they give everybody else that is not a middle-aged woman that is single. And one day I'm going to absolutely lose my mind over this. Today might be the day. I'm not really sure. But where is the relief for a hardworking single woman in her 50s that has kids, that is adults, but is like raising them on her own and always has? What is that? Where is my help? Okay, I'm kind of whining, but I'm kind of not. And I am going to go to Pilates now.
Okay, serious question for everyone who lives alone. How do you guys affording it right now in this economy? Like, generally, I want answers. I have a full-time job. I have a car payment. I also have a dog. I have insurance. I have gas. I have groceries. And somehow, every time I leave my house, I end up spending $50. Where? So how are you guys doing it? There's nobody home when you get from work, and there's nobody help you with laundry or cook dinner for you or help you with your dog. If you're stuck at work, there's nobody to split bills with you. And I feel like this life is made for two income people, and we somehow trying to survive on one. And it is kind of exhausting, but don't get me wrong, I love living alone. I like my peace, I like my independence, I like not having roommates especially, but it's getting really hard. And here I am sitting trying to figure out how other people doing it. It must be some kind of secret. Are they secretly rich? Are they eating air for dinner? Are they doing side hustles? Because this economy sucks. It's really been exhausting living paycheck to paycheck, especially. And when I know I have nobody to split bills with, that's actually put a lot of pressure on your life, and you need to have another job, you need to have a third job. I just know, how are you guys doing it? Because like I need some kind of secret so I can help myself, so I can live the life I deserve.